Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about Arrow. This time it's 409, titled Dark Waters, which premiered Wednesday, December 9th, 2015, and it's the mid-season finale. What a way to end 2015 on for Arrow. I mean, my goodness, it's like, I'll talk about it after. But before we begin, just a reminder, if you haven't seen the episode, please go do so first. I highly recommend that you do it, because I am going to be spoiling the hell out of it, and my own thoughts and opinions are not going to put the episode justice. So watch that, and then come back and see what I picked up on, what I have to say, or what I have questions on, for sure. Also, I have not read any of the Arrow comics, nothing about Green Arrow, any of that. I only know what I've seen on the screen. So any thoughts and opinions I have are directly from the show, unless I specifically state that I researched it, which default I won't. So with that said, let's start 10-minute clock and let's begin. So something new that we learned in this episode, quite a bit actually happened. So episode starts off with a volunteer event involved in cleaning up the bay, and it seems to have a great turnout, turns deadly when a hover drone starts shooting at them, with it declaring it as a terrorist attack. Damien Darhk, of course, is behind it. And because of it, Oliver outs Damien to the city, saying that he's the leader of Hive and that he's the one that wants to destroy the city. Unfortunately, that paints him and everyone he loves with a target on their back. And because of Oliver's announcement, Damien does take Oliver's loved ones, which include Felicity, Thea, and Diggle, and he wants to teach them a lesson. Basically, Damien wants to take everyone that Oliver cares for, who are basically who he fights for, away from him, so that Oliver has no reason to fight anymore. That really doesn't bode well for any of us. But Malcolm comes in, and he actually helps out by pretending to be the Green Arrow, so that Oliver's identity isn't blown. We have Laurel discovering that her father was in league with Damien Darhk before becoming a double agent for Oliver. Little fun thing is that we also got confirmation that Donna Smoke is dating Captain Lance, and Felicity uncovers that the hard way by walking in on a very lovey-dovey moment between them at the holiday party. So that was interesting and funny too. We actually meet Curtis Holt's husband as well, Paul, at the holiday party, and it's actually because of these two that Felicity put some pieces together about a engagement ring that Donna finds in the Christmas decorations earlier. We do see Andrew Diggle, and apparently he's being as stubborn as ever, trying to paint himself as the bad guy, even though John is trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, wanting answers and stuff. But he's still in the cage, I'll say that. So no Christmas reunion for him. And apparently, at the end of the episode, they revealed that Hive is at stage 4 of their plan. No clue what that means, but I'll touch upon that later on. So what was the most shocking moment of the episode? The episode ends with a shootout at the limo that Oliver and Felicity were driving off in. And the episode ends with Oliver getting them clear of the shooting, but he pulls a severely injured Felicity out of the car, and she's bleeding from her mouth. And that's how it ends. So, a little worried there. But, yeah, they're really going all out to get rid of Oliver as the competition in running the city. So top 3 favorite moments. First off has to be the fact that Oliver proposes to Felicity, finally. It was a long wait coming. Even in this episode, Felicity even states that this episode is 3 months since the 401 when Oliver originally planned to propose. So 3 months since then. And the way Oliver does it at a support rally, I guess it was, after the whole terrorist attack with Damien Darhk. The fact that he does it there in front of everybody, and she says yes, it was great to have him include everybody, not just his family, but the city, and making them united in that way. And it was just great to see that all their friends, Diggle, Thea, Laurel, Donna, Lance, and Alex, being happy for this engagement. I really like that. Long time coming too. Second favorite moment has to be Felicity and Donna Smoke. Mother-daughter dynamic is always amusing to watch. We have Donna find the engagement ring in the Christmas decorations and sharing that news with a scream before she shows it to Felicity, and they're both ecstatic at the idea that Oliver loves Felicity enough that he wants to propose. But how could he not love her enough to propose? I mean, come on. But their excitement in that moment was truly amazing to see. And then when Donna's being all lovey-dovey with Lance, and Felicity walks upon them and sees that, and she's like, oh, I can't believe I just saw that, or there's no way I'm going to forget that at all, no matter how much she tries. That part was amusing because Felicity is like, oh no, this can't be happening, while Donna is completely ecstatic that she found this great guy. And then Lance is kind of like, okay. It's like he just kind of clicked in his head that I am dating Felicity's mom, and he already has this history with Felicity and Oliver and all of them. It was entertaining for sure. And then you see again Donna's concern when Felicity's taken. She runs to Oliver, who just got thrown through a window, and she's telling him that her baby's gone, and he's comforting her, saying that he's going to get her back. So it's always fun having Donna back, and just to see her and Felicity together is always fun, especially since so much has changed since we first meet Donna back in 305, and there's this tension between the two of them. The third favorite moment is Malcolm Merlyn pretending to be the Green Arrow. It was great to see, for sure, because who else is going to rival the Green Arrow's skill in archery than the former Dark Archer, right? So that was fun to see. And top 3 Peach moments. First one has to be the Canary Cry. I get that it's a great invention by Cisco, it truly does, but it just irritates me, or it just looks foolish for me every time that she uses it. She has to open her mouth, and I get it's supposed to give off the image that she's actually using the cry, and it's not a device around her neck that's making this sonic sound. But like back on Smallville, when they showed the Black Canary, and she did the Canary Cry, it's actually because she could actually create those sonic sounds through her own vocal cords. So it made sense why she'd have her mouth open in an actual shouting position. But for Laurel, she's not actually making any sound when she's opening her mouth. She's just showing this stance, that giving the illusion that she is creating. And I know that it's a petty thing, but just every time she does it, it's a little twitch in my head saying like, ugh, not again. Even though it's a great device by Cisco, it's just the fact that I know that she's not actually creating it with their own vocal cords. It kind of loses the stance, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. Another peeve moment. The fact that Damien Darhk didn't die in that explosion. I was hoping that he'd be killed, but I know he's the big bad for this season, so it'll kind of be stupid if he died in the mid-season finale. Although it would have been interesting to see who within Hive would take on that leadership role, since their own leader was outed to the public. So there's that. Though I just remember something about Damon Darhk. I'll include it later. But another peeved moment when Malcolm as the Green Arrow and Laurel as Black Canary come and help rescue the rest of the team, and Oliver's ushering Diggle, Thea, and Felicity outside of the gas chamber and getting them out to safety, playing the part that they are. Thea just stops and she's looking at Green Arrow and she asks out loud, "Is that my father?" I mean, why in the world would you ask that? I mean, yeah, you can ask that when there's no one else around you and it's just the team, but she's asking it while there's a bunch of ghosts fighting them. And like, what if they heard her? What if they find out later on by looking through Thea's file that, oh, that's Malcolm Merlyn. Oh, he's the one that's the Green Arrow. So it's like she's connected to the vigilantes. So it's like, why would you ask a question like that out loud? It's like when Cisco outed Barry's identity back in episode 208, part 1 of the crossover event in front of Kendra. It's like, why would you... It's like she wasn't thinking before she opened her mouth. It's kind of like Cisco, but in that case, Cisco just had his life saved in a split second. So, I don't know. It's just, I found that moment to be really irritating for me. So what will I remember most about this episode? The proposal, for sure. The fact that it was a holiday episode kind of helps, but for sure it would be Oliver proposing to Felicity. That will be my reminder, my happy reminder, mind you. So, random questions. First one, what's Genesis? Miss Nixon from Hive actually brought up a project called Genesis to Damien Dark. So I'm wondering if that's the first time we ever heard it, or if maybe we're going to hear it more later on. But apparently that's their big goal that Hive has planned, because she wanted Damien Dark to focus back on Genesis and not on his vendetta against Oliver Queen. So I'm thinking maybe Genesis was mentioned in the comic books. I don't know. If you guys do, let me know in the comments below. I'd probably check it out after this video. Next question. What's with the fake cornfield at the very end? I mean, I know I have to watch the episode again for a second time, but it didn't make sense why they were making a cornfield inside of a warehouse, and like they mentioned algae helping it breathe better or something. I don't know. That science really confused me, so I really have to go back and watch it. But if they're making artificial corn, is it a possibility that they're going to try to sell it, and maybe there's something wrong with this modified corn? Maybe it's supposed to have like hidden poison within it or something. There goes the timer. Hidden poison within it, maybe. I don't know, but I don't have a very good feeling about this fake cornfield. Is there anything good that comes from a cornfield, actually? I don't know. Next question. While I am grateful for this, but I don't get how Oliver and Felicity can escape as long as they did in that limo without being shot at. The ghosts were shooting directly at the vehicle, and unless the vehicle was bulletproof, I don't see how they got no shots, or they got no shots in them. Obviously, the limo driver didn't get, he got shot up for sure. So it's not like that part was bulletproof, but Oliver was covering Felicity, and he didn't manage to get a graze on him, and Felicity somehow is bleeding after he gets him out, so that could be from the fact that he drove recklessly out of there, or in fact she did get grazed somewhere, so, or shot somewhere. Who knows, but I'm just wondering how that logically would work. Next question. Who do you think that funeral from the premiere episode in the flash forward is meant for? Since we see Oliver standing over the grave and Barry coming in late to be supportive for Oliver, my options are Felicity, which I hope is not the case, Samantha, Oliver's baby mama, or it's William, Oliver's son. Since it makes sense why it'd be William or Samantha because of the fact that Barry is there and no one else from the team is there, because Barry is the only one who knows in this timeline that Oliver has a son. So I could see how it would make sense why only Barry would appear. Because if I think it was Felicity, then I think that someone else from the team would also be there with Oliver, unless they were there and then they left early, and then when they left, that's when Barry came in. But I really hope it's not Felicity. She can't die. Not after she just got engaged too. That'd be so awful, for sure. Last question, which is also something I forgot to leave out in something we learned. Apparently, Damien Dark has a family of his own. I'm assuming that's his family because at the very end, we see him going inside this library-esque room with a Christmas tree, and there's this woman and a little girl decorating the tree, and he comes. The little girl runs to Damien Dark and hugs him, and together they finish decorating the Christmas tree. I'm assuming it's his family, but that completely blew my mind, the fact that he has this family, and they look like a normal family, and yet Damien Dark is like this very bad, mystical bad guy, and it's like, wow. So, question for that, who are these people? Are we going to see more of them later on? It's just, I don't know, and it's not like Team Arrow is going to use them to get to Damien Dark, because they don't do stuff like that. So, I guess, what was the purpose of showing us that? Unless it's going to come back and prove and provide some purpose to us later on. I don't know. It'd be interesting, though. It was definitely a shocker I should have added earlier. But predictions. So, if you haven't seen the promo yet, it revealed that January 20th, 2016 is when Arrow will return with new episodes, starting with episode 410. And in that promo, I warn you now, it shows Felicity rushing into surgery with Oliver by her side. Apparently, she flatlines or something, because I see a flatline on those heart monitors, and apparently a grave is shown. Completely unsure whether or not that is the same grave from the flash forward in the premiere episode, but I don't think it is, because that flash forward happened 6 months from the premiere episode. but we right now are only at 3 months. So we're only halfway there. So I don't even know who this grave is meant to be, or if that's supposed to be another flash forward we see. But apparently Felicity is in grave danger because of the shoot up at the limo. So we have to wait until January 20th, 20, to find out the conclusion of that. Another prediction in general, though, Hive's Genesis project, we should be seeing some more parts of it being revealed in some way, shape, or form. Either it's because the team unveils it, or it's because we as the audience see Damien Dark reveal it to his own Hive members. So there's that. Another prediction, not sure if we're going to see William again. I'd hope so, for Oliver's sake. But if that's the case, then someone else on the team is going to they're going to stumble upon the fact that Oliver has a son. So, yeah. And another prediction, Oliver specifically mentioned that he owes Malcolm now for his help. And he mentioned that Malcolm had some league business to deal with. So maybe that league business is going to come back to bite the Arrow team's butt. Maybe the league business has to do with Vandal Savage. If you remember what happened at the end of last week's episode. Malcolm collected the ashes of Vandal Savage. So that's frightening. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So what did you guys think of the mid-season finale? Did you like it? Were you shocked by it? Are there some things you didn't like at all? Or is there some stuff you wanted to happen, yet it didn't quite happen the way you liked it? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Hear your theories, your thoughts, predictions, any of that. Comment below. Love to hear about it. I mean, we got like a month, 5 weeks until new episodes start up. So let's fill that time wisely with our own thoughts, predictions, and such like that. Even some writing will do too, for sure. Also, don't forget to like this video. Truly appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to keep up to date with any of my videos. Also, check out my other videos if you haven't done so already, whether you're Arrow fan or if you're another fan of a show I cover. Go check that out. And don't forget to share this video with all your other fans and friends within the Arrow community. Let's help build this fan base. Let's keep it growing and spread the word around. It's always fun to talk about the show with other people who love the show as well. It truly makes a difference when you're talking to someone who actually knows what you're talking about and where you're coming from than someone who doesn't watch the show and is like, what are you talking about? Trust me, I've been there many times. So if you also want any news about the show, whether it's sneak peeks, episode synopses, episode gifs, episode quotes, episode stills, any of that stuff, check out my Tumblr page. A link for that will be down below. I believe I've organized it appropriately, so you should be able to find things quite clearly. But yeah, usually if I come across any of it, I'll reblog it back to my Tumblr, so it's all in one place. So follow that if you want to keep up to date with that as well. And that's about it. So I won't be talking about Arrow again until January 20th. So I want to thank you guys for listening to my Arrow thoughts for this first half of the season. I truly appreciate it that you're taking your time and listening to what I have to say. Means the world to me. You don't know how much. And I guess I just want to wish you all a very happy holidays. No matter what you celebrate, no matter where you are, just be safe, be happy, be jolly. Just be thankful wherever you are, be happy, and just enjoy the time with all your loved ones for sure. And continue it forward past the holidays for sure. Let's keep it year round. But until January 20th, this is me wishing you all a happy holidays, a happy new year. Thank you for watching, and this is Mel wishing you all a great day wherever you are. Bye for now.